G'day. Just a thought that I'm pondering as I'm walking along, so whipping out the phone. Not at all baked, this thought. Maybe it is a bit baked. Thinking about choice and realizing that much of life actually is a choice, and that certainly among my crowd, when we were younger, we'd often criticize that very strongly, and in sophisticated ways, having come from philosophy and so on, and or other friends having come from empirical psychology, and feeling like it was a matter of justice to recognize how much is out of our choice. But the thing is, as life goes on, you really want to take hold of your life and make something with it. You don't want to be in any kind of victim state, voluntarily. You want to make life as good as it can be, and so it just doesn't serve anymore to really take sophisticated, engage in sophisticated rejections of choice, especially when actually those sophisticated rejections are quite, I wouldn't say naive, but fail to see really important things. And here's just one small point I guess I'll make right now, and it's often that when we reject the notion that the fundamental things in life are actually a matter of choice, like it's a matter of choosing courage, choosing joy, choosing happiness, learning to kind of switch that on in yourself. Well, there are a number of aspects about that, and there's all these aspects of cultivation over time, and I'm going to leave that aside. But to just think about the fact that often when people talk about it being a choice, or often when people reject the idea of making this choice, they're thinking about choice in too superficial a way. They're thinking about it as choice at the level of the intellect, like a superficial philosophical choice, the philosophy that happens all in your head. I'm making a choice there, and of course that doesn't make much of a difference really, that kind of choice. The real choice you make is something far deeper. It's down in your gut, it's down in your cells, it's in your body. And so we're talking about choice at that level. That's a very different kind of choice, at a very different level in your being, and it has a very different power. It actually has power. Whereas intellectual choice doesn't have much power at all. Deep gut level choice is a turning. It's like your body engages in an action. This is your spirit engaging in an action, not just an idea that can be just knocked away in the next moment, but an action in your being, in your spirit, however you want to think about it, whatever language you want to use. It's that cluster of those kinds of terms. That something deep inside you engages in a turning and an action, and that's what it is to make that choice. And if you're making a choice at that level, well, yes, you can choose courage and you can choose happiness, and because what you're doing is you're enacting them in a deep part of yourself, or you're opening the door to them wide in a deep part of yourself. So yeah, it's coming to realize that this simple picture isn't at all a naive picture, and it's actually a deep set of concepts that can be easily misunderstood when we read them in too rational or rationalistic a way, especially when we want to embrace some sense of helplessness, or a victim identity, or a sense of a sense of compassion based on that. But it's a misled notion. We can fundamentally take hold of our lives and make deep choices. And those deep choices are transformative. In that moment, you change.